So here we are in episode 2 on learning to forgive. And today we want to address two questions in particular. One question is that are there some wrong ways to forgive a person? Are there some right ways to forgive a person? Yes, there are. Some of the wrong ways to forgive a person is when we forgive too quickly, and that does not really allow us time to process the emotions, the hurts that we have received from the other person. Now, obviously, when you have become adept, skilled in forgiving, and you become mature in your walk with God, some of the offenses that used to lodge much longer in your life no longer have that power, and you can forgive the person much more easily. But initially, when we are learning to forgive, we should not be in a hurry to. We should have time to process the feelings. The second way to not forgive or to forgive wrongly is to suppress our feelings. And suppressing feelings means that they get buried, they don't really get dealt with in a healthy way. Ignoring the harm is also a wrong way to forgive. We don't deny that we have been hurt. In fact, denial causes us to not get the freedom we're supposed to get from the process of forgiving another person. Blaming oneself also is a wrong way to forgive. When we say that it's all my fault, you know, whatever happened to me was all my fault. Now, you cannot clap with one hand. In most conflicts, both parties are wrong to one degree or another. It is good to acknowledge where you're wrong, but you cannot deny the fact that the other person is also wrong. And blaming oneself is not the way to deal with forgiveness. Or using forgiveness as a means of manipulation or control so that we can exert pressure on another person or make the other person do what we want. Forgiveness is never meant to be manipulative, and it is not a controlling mechanism. We cannot use forgiveness to control anyone. And forgiveness is not forgetting. Things that have been done against you are lost in your memory. You don't really forget what has been done against you, but in the process of forgiveness, the pain that is associated with that memory is gone when this forgiveness is complete. So it's important to remember that forgiveness is a personal decision and it's a process. It may take time, and you don't need to hurry up to forgive someone. So what about some right ways to forgive? Right? So if there are wrong ways to approach forgiveness, there should be also some right ways to approach forgiveness. What are some of the right approaches? One, I suggest that you reflect on the situation, try to understand the circumstances that led to the harm or wrongdoing. Consider your own feelings and thoughts about what happened. Take time to process, take time to reflect, and also recognize the other person's humanity. Recognize that they are also sinful like you are. You have hurt people. They have hurt you. You have your weaknesses, they have their weaknesses. So try to empathize with the other person's action. Try to understand that they also may come from a place of hurt and woundedness in their past. And wounded people tend to wound other people. So learn to empathize with people. Let go of anger and resentment. Holding on to anger and resentment can be harmful to your own mental and emotional well-being. So practice letting go of resentment and anger. Now, if you're a believer, if you're a Christian, you can take your pain and anger to the cross, and that's where you can get rid of them. Communicate your feelings if possible. Talk to the person how they have hurt you. Helping the other person understand your perspective can also minimize the chances that the offense will be repeated. And it also will help the other person understand the impact of their actions so that they can be more understanding, more careful in relating with you and also in relating with other people. It is an educational process for them as well. Learn to forgive yourself. In the process of resolving the conflict with the other person, there's usually wrong on both sides. As you practice compassion for the wrongdoer, for the offending party, practice forgiveness for yourself as well. Ask God to forgive you for your part in which you have done wrong and receive His forgiveness and cleansing. 1 John chapter 1 verse 9, it says, if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. And part of that cleansing is removing the after effects of the offense. Seek support if you need it. It's okay to seek professional help or talk to friends or family members, especially if you feel that the hurt is quite deep and you cannot handle it on your own. So remember that forgiveness is a personal decision. It is the right thing to forgive, but doing it correctly will bring the kind of freedom that you've been looking for. Thank you.